Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Single Parents Podcast, the show that is far from traditional. If you end up enjoying what you see and liking what you hear, consider subscribing to the podcast, sharing the podcast with a friend, and rating the podcast 5 stars on your favorite podcast hosting platforms. That way, we can tell those algorithms out there that the show is legit, and it will pass it along to more people. All right, well, here's a little taste as to what you can expect on today's show.
If you have like 10 guys as an option, do you really feel like one of those guys are going to be the love of your life? Because
Mm-hmm.
hot take, I feel like a lot of those guys are
Okay.
probably douchebags, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not going to
Yep.
be my future baby daddy if you're a douchebag.
What is up, single parents? What's going down? I feel like I'm one of those family vlog YouTubers. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe down below. Today we're blowing up my mom's car. No, we're not doing that.
God.
My
Wait,
kids.
do family channels actually do that? Blow up mom's cars?
I don't know. They do whatever they can for clicks.
I know, that's actually so true. The clickbait,
They gotta clickbait. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
My
everything
kids,
is clickbait.
my girls are in the age where they watch all that stuff, and it's so ear piercing because they talk super loud to keep people's attention, and so they're basically screaming all of their words. And they're my kids, they're so cute, they're so innocent. They'll show me something oh my gosh, Dad, look at what they just did. They just totally went in their parents' room and covered their entire room in mayonnaise or something crazy like that. And the parents walk in and they're like, "What did you guys do? Oh my gosh, this is such a surprise." But that's all produced, and the parents are in on it. They know what's going on. It's all rehearsed. But my kids are just, they laugh "Oh my gosh, I can't believe their parents fell for that."
Oh my gosh. Hopefully they're not getting any ideas. Don't be doing that to Dad's room.
They do, when it's small pranks. They got me last year. They saw the Oreo toothpaste prank where you take all the cream out of the Oreo and replace it with toothpaste, and they love doing that one on me. The first time I actually did legit fall for it, and then the other times they try to do it, and then I know it's coming, but they think it's so funny, so I just pretend like I don't know.
Yeah.
What's about to happen.
That's so gross. What did you do to this?
Yeah, that's just dad life. But anyways, how's it going for us recording this episode as of time of recording? It's Halloween Eve. So how's spooky season going for you? You ready for tomorrow? Give us even though this is going to be a week later, Halloween's technically over when you all are listening to this, but we still got to get the deets. So what are you doing for Halloween? How's it looking for you?
So this past weekend, we had trick-or-treating in my neighborhood because they do a whole long Halloween fest type of thing. That's where all of my, my HOA money goes towards those things, which is fine because they actually throw on killer events. They do movies in the park. They do chili cook-offs.
Nice.
So for Halloween, they had, I don't know if they did a parade, but they did a costume contest for animals.
Ooh.
And I don't know, and they had a party at a nearby local park, and with a bunch of fun vendors and activities and stuff. And so our trick-or-treating happened this past weekend on Sunday.
Okay.
And my neighborhood is perfect family neighborhood.
Nice.
Last year was the first year that Grayson went trick-or-treating. I was not really prepared. I just put a bowl out and I was all right, take 2, and that was it.
Okay.
And then as I walked around the neighborhood with Grayson, people had, balloon animals, cookie decorating, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Huge parties on their driveways, fires going, TVs outside, and I'm okay, I'm catching the vibe. And Halloween's my favorite holiday. So this year, I made sure that I was prepared. I had a bunch of candy. Not only did I have candy, but I did extra things as well that the kids could grab from. I had Halloween socks. I had glow sticks that they could grab from. I did I found these things at Target. They were like Wednesday, like cereal snack thing majiggers. So
Mm-hmm.
I did all of that. And then I made a hot chocolate bar, a mini hot
Oh
chocolate
my
bar.
gosh.
And then I had
Jeez.
booze to go with it for the parents. So I got these like spooky like coffee Halloween cups, and I had like Bailey's, and I actually had a peppermint vodka
Oh,
too.
I would be at
You
your
know.
house all night. I'd be like, let's circle back to that one house again, please, or a few
Yeah.
more times.
Well, you know what? You live and you learn. I made a mistake because I decorated my whole table. It looked so cute. I had
Yeah.
everything laid out. And then the first like 20 kids came and they took like almost everything.
Ah, dang it.
And I just
Yeah.
like wasn't fast enough to be like, take two. Cause, and also
Yeah.
they were like, whoosh, 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 just grabbing everything. And I'm
Yep.
like, oh my gosh. Now, none of the other kids get glow sticks. No
Oh.
other kids get socks. Like, I mean, luckily I had more candy and other extra things
Okay.
to give
Yeah.
out, but I'm like, dang. So next year, the plan is only put out a few things at once,
Oh, smart.
um, so that not everything is grabbed.
Yeah.
So yeah, mom's gonna be more prepared next year. Grayson
Okay.
was Buzz Lightyear. He was
Yeah.
super flim flam and
I
cute.
saw that. Very cute.
Yeah.
Very
We're
cute.
going to my brother's house tomorrow
Okay.
for his trick or treating in his neighborhood. Um so we'll do that tomorrow night, and I'm also excited because tomorrow we have a costume contest at work
Nice.
for Halloween. Unfortunately, I can't win because then everybody would think that it's rigged.
Oh, true. Nepotism.
Because there's
Yep.
a cash prize
Oh.
for first, second, and third. First place gets $100.
Dang.
That's like nice. And then
That's very
second place I
nice.
think is 50 and third is 25. But yeah, there's like a big cash prize, and I'm going to surprise my brother by dressing up as him.
Yeah, I can't wait to
I
see that.
I literally can't wait. I was trying to tell my mom earlier about
Yeah.
that Mean Girls sound on TikTok that is like, Halloween is the one night a year where girls get to dress like a slut and it's
Yep.
totally fine, or whatever that sound is.
Yep.
I have to use that sound, and it's just gonna be like me, like a dude. I'm gonna have like fuzzy, bushy eyebrows on and
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
beard. It'll be so funny.
Wait, since this is coming out after Halloween, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, you can see the picture of it right now.
Girl world, Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it. The hardcore girls just wear lingerie and some form of animal ear. No one told me about the slut rule, so I showed.
That is
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
That's hilarious.
It's gonna be so funny. I can't wait. I'm gonna surprise him, and I'm surprising everybody at work too in the
Yes.
office. So hopefully they know who I am, because I'm not gonna say who it is, but I think they'll be able to
You
guess
think they'll
based off
piece
of
it
how I'm
together?
dressed.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Dang, you go all out. That is a lot of fun. Wait, so why did your neighborhood do trick or treating and stuff last week instead of tomorrow?
Because it's a whole day long thing. So like tomorrow's a Friday, and they want to do a whole day long thing. That's why it's on a Sunday, because it's the weekend. So they could actually make day long
Nice.
festivities.
Yeah.
Because if it's Friday, people are at work, then you could really only do trick or treating like what, 4 to 7 or
Right,
something like that.
exactly. Yep.
So yeah, they want to fit in all the stuff that they can. But
Nice.
yeah, what about you? What are the gals doing? What are you doing? Any
Uh,
Halloween plans?
Yeah, so last weekend I went and visited my family. We hung out. What did we do? We did a lot of stuff. We went to a pumpkin patch, had to at least do that. I think it's like illegal to not go to a pumpkin patch around this time of year and post it on Instagram. So I made sure
Right.
to keep the feds off me because I went and did that. I checked that off my list. That was a lot of fun. Hung out with my niece. My sister owns like this. Well, she owns like a bridal shop business. She designs wedding
Oh,
dresses.
that's cool.
But overall, she owns like this. What's it called? Is it not consignment? It's like she owns like a boutique. Yeah, there we go. She owns a
Mhm.
boutique, and like she has vendors in that boutique, and so she did like a trunk or treat Halloween hangout thing at her business last Saturday. So the girls got to go get candy, but they got to like run some of the games for some of the kids who came through. So that was a lot of fun. And then tomorrow, one of my friends lives like in one of the good neighborhoods you're supposed to go to if you want like that good candy.
Right.
So I'm gonna go park at his house. We're gonna have like pizza and stuff for a little bit, and then the girls will hand out candy again for a little bit for the early trick-or-treaters, and then they'll go out and they'll go get that good candy. But I don't know, like Halloween is interesting for me because I grew up in, I guess you could say, like a religious household, and so like we didn't really do Halloween.
Hmm.
Like, and now after, my parents kind of relaxed as they got older, so I think my younger siblings maybe did, I don't know. And they're cool with it now, whatever. But us growing up, we really didn't do, like, we would go to this thing the church would do. They would call it like harvest festivals or harvest parties, because I guess like the word harvest is more holy than the word Halloween, even though it's the exact
I
same
guess so.
thing. Like you're still going, people still dress up, you still do candies. It's the exact same thing, but they just
Yeah.
didn't call it Halloween. Anyways, but I think about that because it's so weird. Like I can be like the most creative guy in the world. Like you give me like an inkling of an idea and I can turn it into like something legit. My brain will run, except when it comes to costumes, specifically Halloween costume ideas. Like I suck at like coming up with Halloween costume ideas, and you'd think like that, would be up my wheelhouse. Like I'd come up with something super and awesome and creative, like what you're doing for your brother. I don't know. Can't do it. Can't do it. So I just, one of my daughters is being a zombie cheerleader, and so
Hmm.
she wants me to be like her zombie jock football player. So I'm gonna like match her and do that. But
Oh
I
my
wish
God,
I
that'll be
had,
so
it'll be
cute.
cute. The pictures will be nice. So, it'll be a whole thing. But I wish I had that creative bug inside of me that just allowed me to be good at Halloween. Like I'll see people and I'll be like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's genius!" And I'll be so jealous, like going through Instagram on Halloween night, being like, "Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea." And I suck. I suck at
You
Halloween.
should just go on Pinterest. I feel like if you go
Oh,
on
okay.
Pinterest, you just find so many ideas. I've gotten so
That's
many
a good idea.
costume ideas from that. Or just like if you think about anything that's popular right now, you could
Right,
just be
right.
anything popular, honestly.
Yeah, I saw like a TikTok with like the top Halloween costumes this year. It's a lot of like, have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters yet? That's like
No.
the top 5. I watched that movie like 50 times because of my girls. And then it's like, what is the other stuff? Like Shrek characters, there's a couple superheroes.
I think stuff
Um,
from Wicked.
oh yeah, definitely Wicked was for sure on there.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, but you're right. It's like what's like popular right now in media is like what dominates that a little bit. So I don't know. I just maybe next year, because next year I have my girls this year for Halloween. I don't have them next year for Halloween, so I can do like the adult parties and stuff like that, or do whatever I
Yeah.
want basically. So maybe next year I'll actually try to do something like big and bold and like legit for Halloween. In which,
You
if I
should.
do at big next year, I'll be 36 when I do that. It'll be probably like the first time in my life like I actually go all out for Halloween. So
You should.
we'll see.
It'll be
We'll see.
fun. You'll have a good
Okay.
time. It'll be worth it. You'll get some cool pics and all the good vibes. It'll be
Okay. All
fun.
right. So that's a goal for you listeners, is to make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, downloads for all the podcast stuff, because you got to stick around with us for at least a year, at least one more year, so you can see my Halloween costume next year. Like,
Yeah.
you got to at least commit to that a little bit.
Right. Encouragement. And then see if
Yeah.
anybody next year like leaves a comment prior to
Mm-hmm.
Halloween and say, I came here from last year and I hope that
Oh.
Anthony is dressing up this year.
Okay. So that's some accountability on my part. Okay. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Everybody's going to keep you accountable.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what's up. But yeah, I did see on TikTok that trending Halloween's costume list, and that was pretty interesting. But you know what? I also saw some other interesting videos on TikTok that
All right.
I think would be good for us to discuss because obviously TikTok is a booming place where people can just pick up their phone and share their instant thoughts and reactions and opinions, and we love TikTok for that. But there were a couple of very, I guess you could say, particular, very specific topics regarding our demographic, single parents, that people made videos about that I thought were actually super interesting. So what I did is I sent Jess two of them. There's three I want to talk about, but I sent her two of them, had her gather her thoughts, kind of form her opinions about what these videos have to say, and we'll hear from her in a second. But I just thought it'd be interesting to kind of look at some of these hot topics that TikTok presented us and kind of break it down and share our thoughts and opinions. But what I'm going to do, because these are like very specific topics that these people are going to bring up, instead of me just trying to like retell the story or bring up the points that they bring up in the videos, I'm just going to share in the podcast right now. Well, we'll do one by one, but I'll share in the podcast the TikTok video itself. That way you can actually hear from the creators. And then in the description of the video, if you want to go down and check out the creators' profile themselves, I'll put the link to their accounts in the description of the video. So yeah, so are you ready to talk about some TikTok videos, Jessica, before I play the
Yeah,
first video?
I am ready. Let's go.
All right. So this first video I'm going to play has to do with sleepovers.
Babe, I've been really thinking about the whole single dad wanting to host an all-girls slumber party. And I've been really thinking and really digesting my thoughts before I wanted to come on here and speak about it. And as I was thinking, it came across my mind that I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. I remember one of my mom's good friends, single dad, wanted to have a party for his daughter, right? Invite a couple of the girls from her school over, right? Turned into a slumber party type of situation. He went to my mom, because again, he was a single parent, and told him the situation. I want to have a slumber party for my daughter, da, da, da. My mom said, what we can do, you can have the slumber party over here. Like, I'll host the slumber party over here. And then what you could do is you can come and be a part of the slumber party, help set it up, help, host it, help do all the things, have fun with the girls, do all the things. But when it's time to transition to slumber party, what's to happen is you're going to leave, and then I'm going to stay. Her sister came over, and then we're going to do the night part of the slumber party. So we're going to do the movie nights, and we're going to do the pajama party. We're going to do the late night candies and the sleepover part. And then when we transition to the part where you leave and, me and my sister come, and host the rest of the other half of the party, we're going to contact the parents to let them know, hey, said man is leaving slumber party. No, he's done his part of the slumber party. He's leaving now. So now it's all women and girls here now. And I remember when this was all happening, I ended up going over my friend's house and staying the night so she could do all of this. And I'm bringing all of this up because I feel like that was an appropriate process here, right? I think if there is a situation that there is a single man and he has a daughter and he wants to host a party or he wants to do a party or something like that for his daughter, that's perfectly okay, right? That's 100% okay. And I don't think that it speaks to his intentions with the girls. I don't think that it speaks to his character. I don't think that it speaks to any of those things as him as a father wanting to have a party for his little girls, right? But on the other table, when there's other girls that's not your little girl involved, now we have to consider a whole lot of other families' feelings and a whole lot of other mama bears' feelings and things like that, right? And so there's things that you have to do in those situations to make sure that everyone is comfortable in these situations. In the event that mama bear is not really comfortable with a single man hosting her cub at an all-girls slumber party, well, maybe Mama Bear would be more comfortable if another Mama Bear was hosting the party and then said Daddy Bear leaves at a certain point. You know, I think we have to start making a middle ground in these type of situations. Like, you're not comfortable with this. I'm not going to get offended or mad that you're not comfortable with this. But what can I do, right, to make this situation comfortable for you so that I can host this party for my daughter and so that my daughter can be in community with her friends and that I can also do my part as a dad.
All right, so yeah, that was like I said, very specific. Not a very broad conversation topic. You know, not everybody's gonna be a single dad who has a daughter who wants to have a sleepover. So I know that's this might be a very niche conversation here, but I thought it's still interesting because it still can raise some interesting points. So Jessica, I'm gonna turn over to you. You saw the video. I
Yes.
guess the big question I have from the video, I guess I have 2 points of like the perspective I want to get from you. You can share your initial thoughts, but I
Okay.
want to hear from you. What are your overall thoughts about being in that situation as a single dad who has a daughter who wants to have a sleepover? What are your overall thoughts about that whole scenario in general? And then the tables are turned, because this could happen one day. Tables are turned. Grayson's older. He wants to have his boys over for a sleepover. Let's just say in the future you're still a single mom and you're there with a house full of boys. Do you think that changes anything? What does that look like? What do you think that looks like? So I'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts?
Well, the guy talking in the video made a lot of great points. Initially, I was really agreeing with everything that he said because he gave those examples of what he did or what happened when he was younger, and I think that's what he said. When he was
Yep.
younger?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
when he was a kid, right? I think that's what he said.
Yeah. When he was younger, the situation and how they went about it, and I felt like that was perfect. It's super well handled. I couldn't imagine being in your shoes because you're a single dad with
Yeah.
girls, but the only thing is that the girls go over to their mom's place, so, like, mom could technically do
Right.
sleepovers with the gals, and it's more difficult for you. I feel like there's lots of, I don't know, concerns. I'm not really sure the right word to use, but there's a lot of concerns having an adult male around a bunch of young girls. And I could imagine, which I understand because you see so many things happen in the media. I could understand why it would scare other parents. And I think for me personally, if I had a daughter and she were to go to a sleepover with just dad there, I feel like
Okay.
it would be something that I honestly would be uncomfortable with. There's a whole era and a whole side of TikTok where parents talk about how there are no sleepovers
Yeah,
in general
exactly.
allowed because
Right.
you don't know what those parents do at home. You don't know what their intentions are, male or female. Um, you just don't really know what their intentions are and what they're gonna do, and I even saw something one time about how the girls were having a sleepover in somebody's room, and I think there was a camera in there as the girls were
Oh,
changing, like,
what the?
wild stuff, so you just never really know. Um, I couldn't imagine being a father and being put in that position where it's just you and you're a solo parent and mom isn't involved at all, and your daughters are begging you for a sleepover. I think the most appropriate thing, if mom is involved, I would say mom should be in charge of sleepovers and dad should be in charge of some sort of other event. And it doesn't mean it can't be something similar to a sleepover. You could do all of the fun things, face masks, doing your nails, whatever, but the children just don't sleep over. You
Right.
can make it into a thing where if parents want to join, they can. You could just host a big party with um all parents joining, especially if it's something that they're uncomfortable with, and then
Yeah.
parents pick up their kids late at night, you know? It could be like, "Okay, we're watching a movie, and you can pick up your kids by 10 PM," or
Right.
whatever it is. I
Yep.
feel like there's lots of opportunity to do different things. But if mom isn't involved and the girls still want to have a sleepover, I think to have that female role there, maybe dad doesn't have to leave, but as long as another accountable adult is there, I don't really know. I feel like it's such a sticky conversation, but I know for me, it's either you can get picked up late, other parents can be there, mom just does it, if available, I guess, whatever you
Yeah.
would say.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Those were my initial thoughts, but whatever he did when he was younger, I thought that was a perfect
Yeah, I thought that was
opportunity,
his mom was
honestly.
really smart for offering. I think that was really cool because, and I was going through the comment section of that video, and a lot of the comments were just talking about how the art and benefit of raising your kid in like a village, like the old saying, like it
Mhm.
takes a village to raise a child. I really liked that his mom realized something because I think for me as a dad, I can relate to the dad in the story to where he probably wasn't even thinking about all that. All he
Right.
was thinking was like, hey, I love my kid. It's almost her birthday coming up. She wants to have a sleepover, so I'm going to give her what she asked for. Like
Right.
simple, harmless, because I could see myself being that
Yeah.
in that situation exactly 100% the same. So it was really cool that his mom came to him and was like, "Hey," it's instead of like coming to him and like pointing a finger and being like, "You weirdo," like blah 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 blah. She came as like a proper village and offered number one a perspective of like, "Hey,
Yeah.
just so you know, you might not have thought about this, but like as a single dad, you might want to take into consideration XYZ." And if he was me, he would be like, "Oh crap! Like I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
Exactly.
Thank you for bringing that up because you're 100% right." But then she offered a solution, right? She didn't just criticize. She just didn't, be a keyboard warrior about it. She's like, "So this is what we can do. Let's work together." And then, you all heard the rest of the video, and I thought that was really nice. And that's what the comments were talking about. Is like it's kind of sucky that a lot of people don't have that type of community. We have a lot of people who are like ready to throw out their opinions and
Yeah.
critique and to point their finger at people and point their nose down at people, but not offering any help or solutions. So that kind of sucks. But I think I would commend people like his mom who are willing to offer help for people who are just trying to do the right thing, right?
Right.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. I mean, as like a dad, you always want to give your princess everything. So you
Yep.
don't. You really don't. You're like, I'm just trying to make my daughter happy. This is
Exactly.
what she wants, and
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen for her. I'm
Yep.
thinking about how, like, I bet you, even if you don't have a village that's family, I bet you could find a village elsewhere. Maybe you have other parents in the classroom that um are females and they're close. I feel like there could be a way to be like, "Hey, is there any way you could help me with this?"
Right.
I'm sure, because there's lots of parents in the classroom, and I bet you at least one. As somebody who, previously was a teacher, honestly, like the classroom moms, there were so many that were willing to do so much all the
True.
time. And I'm sure that there would be one parent that would be like, I would love to help you with this. Or even, I mean, the teacher, maybe even if they know your situation and they want to
Right.
help out in some sort of way.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Not all teachers. I feel like I moved mountains for my kids, but maybe
Oh,
not all teachers would do that.
yeah.
Um, but that would be something that I would be willing to do if if, and obviously, like, I am a trusted adult because the
Yeah.
kids are with me every single day and I teach them every single day. So, I don't know, I bet you there would be another way to find a village, but
Mhm.
I don't it is, like, such a tough, sticky
Mhm.
situation, especially when it's not on your mind, but it's on other
Right.
people's and,
Yep.
I don't know, it is just so tough, but hopefully, if you don't have a village with your family, you could find a village elsewhere, Or maybe, well, it would be cool to have some sort of business that was like sleepover party planner and you have somebody come to your house and like plan a whole sleepover. That'd be cool.
Oh,
Probably
that would be
expensive,
cool.
but
Oh,
cool.
sure. That is a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So for you, let's just say fast forward 10, 12 years in the future, Grayson comes to you. He's like, hey, I want to have all the boys over, and it is just you. Do you think you should be, because we talked last episode about the different dynamics that a mom might have to encounter versus something a dad has to encounter, and not being held to the same standards and blah, 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 blah. So for you, I guess first question is, do you think you should be thinking through the same things that this dad had to think through as a mom alone in a house with a bunch of boys?
Probably. I would probably have to think of the same things
Yeah,
because there's so much coming out about female teachers taking advantage and grooming
that is
some of their
true.
students.
That
That's
is
like
true.
there's one not like an hour away from me who's going on, I think, trial and all the stuff she'd been grooming, just crazy stuff. But anyway, long story short is that's probably something I will also have to think about.
Okay.
The good news is that if I happen to still be a single mom,
Mhm.
God willing,
Right.
um, I would probably be asking my brothers to step in
Okay.
and help me out and be like, "Can you help me do this?" And then maybe I'm still in the house, but the guys are all in the basement together or something like
Nice.
that. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably what I would do. Um, but it is something that I think I would probably have to think about as well.
Okay, for
I don't know,
sure,
but
for
I
sure.
I think deeply about everything. So
Oh.
I don't know. I think about all of those things and what other people are going to think and how they're going to
Mm,
react, but probably to the other average person, they would be like, "No, a woman would never do that." I don't know.
right.
So, but you do have to like think about it from both ends of the spectrum,
Mhm.
honestly. What do
Mhm.
you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think ultimately it's better safe than sorry, and it's ultimately better just to protect yourself, right? And have that plausible deniability, because I think about how heartbreaking it would be to have the best intentions and to have all those kids over, and then all it would take is like for one kid to say something, or maybe even not even intentionally say something malicious, but just say
Yeah,
something that their parents get upset about, and then now it's just your word versus their kid's word, and then
right.
rumors get started and they're posting stuff on Facebook, and now you're made out to be this horrible person,
Yep.
and all you did was just have the good intentions of giving your kid a sleepover. But to the other parent's defense, playing both sides, I so now I'm thinking through, my daughters get invited to a sleepover with a single dad who I know is just going to be there by himself. Would I be okay with that? Would I want that? And the answer is probably no. Like, not even with like a trusted family member, because the statistics of like when that type of nasty stuff goes down, it's
Mhm.
usually somebody the kid knows. It's usually a family member. So like
It
that's
is.
just how it is. Like, just we don't play those games. And so like for the parents sending their kids, I would 100% understand them being super weirded out and on guard. And I don't think the parent who's hosting the party should be taking that personally or get defensive about that. I just think there's stuff on both sides. So I like the idea
Yeah.
of like, but just protecting everybody, just saying like, hey, and I liked that they even went above and beyond and said, we're gonna text all the parents when dad leaves to let them know, like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. There's no men in the house anymore, so you don't even have to worry about that. I just think you're just covering yourself, because you just
Right.
never know. Like I said, it only takes like one little thing to be accused of, and then it really, honestly, and especially in the social media age, it doesn't really matter if you did it or not, because once it's out there, it's gonna
Yep.
people
You're
just
canceled.
assume. Yeah, you're canceled. People assume.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, like I said, I know that's a very, very, very specific situation that maybe many of you won't even find yourself in, but I just
Right.
think it's still interesting. It's still interesting to think through. But this next point we're going to talk about, this next video we're going to break down,
Yeah.
It's going to be maybe a little bit more broad. We're going to start to widen the floodgates a little bit as to far as how people who might be able to relate to what we're going to talk about, because the next talking point has to do with dating. So let's turn it over to this creator and hear her thoughts.
Conversation about men dating single moms and how like single moms should really just date single guys. And here's my thing, okay? I wrote in a comment section, I was like, I wouldn't want to date somebody that doesn't have kids because lifestyles. And somebody was like, well, if you're dating someone that's your age or somebody that's a little bit older, technically like your mindset, your lifestyle should be, you know, relatively the same. And I was like, yeah, except I know what I want to do on a Saturday. Okay, I want to wake up at noon, go to fucking brunch, have some mimosas and go to the beach and call it a day. Maybe like have a fire, watch a movie late at night. You know what I do currently on my weekends? I'm like up, breakfast is cooked and we're on the way to the playground by like 8:30, dude. And then we go to the dog park and then we go to the grocery. Like it is just a very mundane way of living that I feel like it's an adjustment. And there are times even 4 years in where I'm like, bro, I just wish I could sleep in, or I wish I could do this. And I would just never want to impose that on somebody. And I think people will do things for love. Like I think you see a lot of men that do end up falling in love with the kid of the woman they're dating, and like they really take on that role. I just feel like it would give me anxiety, or I would think that I'm like either hindering them or they're gonna get resentful of this lifestyle because they know there's no attachment here. You can go out and do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to be hanging out with me. And like my version of a vacation, guys, is going to the Georgia Aquarium. That's our next vacation. It's Disney. It's going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's not going to Greece. It's not going to Turks and Caicos. You know, like it's a very boring lifestyle. I know that. And so, yeah.
All right. So, Jessica, dating only people with kids. And she gave context for what she's saying. She's not that straightforward. But you heard the video. What are your thoughts on what she had to say?
Another tough situation. I feel like my brain is so jumbled from this one because maybe I just have too many opinions.
Oh, interesting.
And I feel like I go on the opposite end of what she's saying, because she was saying more of, only dating people with kids. If you have kids, you date people with kids because the other person will have to sacrifice and whatever. And I feel, as a single mom, would I date somebody else with kids? Yes, I would. Would I date somebody without kids? Yes, I would. Here's the thing, is you are not forcing someone to date you. I don't understand. That's what I don't get, is she's acting like when you have someone that you're seeing, you're basically forcing them to date you. And then they have to do all these things. If you set the record straight, for me, if I'm going to date someone, they will be helping me and they will be taking on a role. There are some people that say like, well, what happened to just your dating and your boyfriend just being for you? And I could understand that if your children are older, but my son is little, and if I'm going to date someone, I would love for them to grow up as a father figure to my son. If my kids were 15, I don't care. Whatever. Yes, I'm dating for me. I'm not dating for you. You're older. You're going off to college in a couple of years anyway.
Right.
But Grayson being little, I'm dating for the both of us, because I'm dating for a caretaker, not only for me, but for Grayson as well.
Yeah.
And if somebody didn't want to be with me because I have a kid, then I'm not going to date them. If they want to pursue me and they want to date me, even though I have a kid, they have to be ready for it. And that's just how it's going to have to go. And if they're not ready for it and they don't want to make sacrifices, then they're just not my person.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just how I kind of feel about it. I don't know. I feel like it could be harsh, but it's so different than what she said, because she was saying that the other person could feel bad about sacrificing, and I say no. If they want to sacrifice, they will. If they want to be with you and you're that important enough to be with, they will make those sacrifices. If they're not ready to step up and be a parent or lose sleep because the baby's crying in the middle of the night or something, then sorry, you're not my person. This is the life that I live every day. And if you don't want to live my same life, we're not living a life together. Then we're having separate lives. I don't want to live a separate life from my partner, future husband, because we're together. We're one. We've become a family. So if their life isn't going to align with mine the right way, then we just shouldn't be together and we can't be together, honestly. So if
Yeah.
it's the right person, I think that they will do those things for you. And that's just how I feel. You don't have to just date people that have kids. It could be your preference. That's totally
Mhm.
fine. I support you in making that decision. But for me, if somebody wants to date me and they don't have kids, then you just have to be ready for how your life may or may not change, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I really resonated a lot with what she said because one part that really stood out to me in the video was she said, sometimes we do a lot of crazy things for love, right? Like when we love somebody, we're sometimes quick to say yes, we're quick to say no, it's fine, like it's fine, yes, I thought about this, I'll jump into it, like yes, I'll wake up with you 4 a.m, we'll do this together, I'll give up pickleball with the boys on Saturday because we can go to the dog park. Like when you're in love, and maybe I'm speaking for myself because I could see myself being like this, like when you're in love, you're just in love, and then everything else seems like yes, yes, we got this, we got that. And then, they say the honeymoon phase kind of winds down, and then the reality hits, and you really do want to go play pickleball with the boys, but you have a kid's birthday party now that you're going to. So I get that. I really do understand what she was talking about with that. So I think my big thing with it is like, maybe this is why like I'm so slow to like date in general, but maybe why I would be slow to date somebody who doesn't have kids because of that fact. Like I would really, really, really want to make sure that she got the fact that this is the reality. Like, don't just tell me you get it because you love me. Don't just tell me that, yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine because you want to be with me. Like, cool. I'm glad that you want to be with me and you want to make it work. But the reality is, there's going to be days when the girls come home and they got homework and we got to go to gymnastics. And so, yes, I'd love to go on a date night this night, but we have gymnastics, or we have this thing coming up, or hey, girls are sick, so this thing that we had planned, have to cancel it. And you, as somebody without kids, you don't have to think through that. You can just decide, hey, I want to go to this thing, I'm going to go, or I'm going to spend money on this, I'm going to spend money on it. And I 100% get that. So I think that's why it's just wise to be slow and have patience and give grace, because it's going to take time, because you really don't know until you're really in it. So like you could talk
Yeah.
about it, like this is what the reality looks like, but to give grace to the other person, you gotta have to walk the walk a little bit. You can't just hear about it and be like, oh, I can handle that. Like, so I understand giving grace, but I would also, thinking for myself, I've been thinking a lot about lately the fact that as my girls are getting older, they're soon to be 9 and 10 years old. They're heading into their second phase, if you will, of childhood. Soon they're going to be teenagers, and like you said, they're going off to college and
Yeah.
all that stuff. They're in that phase, right? So as I head into that phase of like, they're no longer little toddlers, they're going to start growing up in 9 short years. They're going to be adults, legal adults, doing whatever they're doing, and I'll have the, I guess, ability, if you want to say it like that, to think about my life. Like, my whole identity is not going to be just these 2 little girls as dad forever, because
Hmm.
soon they're going to be adults and I got to figure out my own stuff because they're going to have their own lives.
Right.
So I've been thinking about, as I'm preparing for that, what does my partner look like? Who do I want to be with? What are some things I want for my own life that reflect where I want to be heading into this next phase of life? So for example, I have like a lot of dreams and ambitions to travel, to get
As
out,
you
to not
should.
just as I should. Like so basically for context, I guess I should give context. Like I live in like a smallish town in the middle of like the Nevada desert. Like it's not like a one gas station town, but it's not like a big metropolis, right? Like Jesse, like you live close to like Chicago and all that. Like
Yeah.
that's sick to me, but I don't. So, but I live here because this is where my daughter's mom lives. Her family lives here. And so, as long as I don't want to be a scumbag and walk out on my daughter's lives, I gotta be here, right? Which is
Right.
fine. But do I want to be here forever? I really don't. Like I want to
Right.
be able to be free to go and meet new people and just do stuff, right? And so I've been thinking about the fact that maybe my person isn't somebody who is going to be in this just one town and has to be in this one town for the rest of their lives. So I'm thinking through like being with somebody with maybe like a little kid who, if I got with them, we'd have to basically like repeat this whole thing I've been living since I've been here the last 9 years, and I wouldn't be able to because she's like, well, I have to stay here because little Bobby Joe's dad's here, and I would just be like, and so it's been tricky because I'm getting real here. Like I haven't really talked about to anybody about this yet, so you guys are hearing my real heart. So sorry if these words aren't perfect, but like it's been tricky because like I'd have to know that about myself, know what I want for my life, know what I'd like for my life, and to have the boundaries and the self-awareness to say like, you know what, that person right there, she seems great, she seems awesome, but I don't think that where I want to be is going to align with her reality. And like, I guess ultimately, like you said, like I might not be her person because she's going to be here for the next 20 something years. And I don't want to be here for the next 20 something years. Oh, I might not be her person because that's not going to work. And so I ultimately share all that because on the other side of this whole conversation, if I fell for somebody who was like, nope, this is my town, I'm not moving, I have to be here 20 years, but probably going to be here the rest of my life, probably going to die here, and I fall in love with her, and she tells me that, and then I say, you know what, that's fine, babe, like, I'll be here with you, like, we'll stick it out together forever, forever, forever. Like, I would want her and maybe like my friends or family to sit me down and be like, you know what, Anthony, like, are you sure? Because we've had talks and you've said that you don't want to be here for the rest of your life. You want to go do all these things. But now because you're with Betty Sue, you're changing your tune. Like, it's cool that you love her, but are you really sure like you're willing to like compromise all that? And like really challenge me on that. And so to the point of the video, I think there's something healthy about like you said, your standards, your preferences to say like, hey, I like having Saturdays free to go do this. I like having money to spend on whatever I want. I like whatever. And to know that about yourself, but then to maybe fall for a single mom or single dad and know you're going to have to compromise on a lot of that. You being self-aware enough to say, maybe I'm just not that single mom or single dad's person because I don't see myself stepping into that because I know myself and I know what I want for my life, and not feeling bad because I don't think that's bad. I don't think my desires for my life are bad or selfish. Like, this is just how it is. And to your point again, your person is going to be somebody, not saying it's going to match 100%. There's going to have to be compromises in every relationship, obviously. But your person's going to be somebody who's going to allow you to not feel like you're doing a whole 180 on every boundary and desire that you set for your life in order to be with them. So like my person's probably going to be somebody who's like, yeah, like either I can come travel with you, or they don't live in this town and I get to go move wherever to be with her and something like that. And then maybe like a single mom's person is going to be somebody who's like, yeah, no, that's cool. Like, I'm with you. We're going to go do the dog park with the kids. We're going to wake up at 8 a.m. and go to birthday parties, and I don't care about, I think she said in the video, like going to all these like countries and stuff like that. Like, oh, yeah, we can do that when we're older, but for now, like I don't mind going to Chuck E. Cheese and
Right.
actually being legit. So I know that was kind of a lot, but I've just been thinking through that a lot for my own self and having that own self-awareness about myself. And it is tough because you do feel like I don't know, maybe you are being a little bit too selfish or kind of rude, saying like, I don't think. But I think it's better to be aware of like who you are, your preferences, your limitations before stepping into a relationship and just trying to force it than lying to yourself and denying yourself. And then a little bit later, when that honeymoon phase does end, then you're like, oh crap, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. And then you're dealing with a breakup. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my whole confession I just laid out. Cause like I said, I haven't really talked to
A
anybody about
confession.
this.
I don't know. I feel like, your girls are older. You do have these goals and aspirations. I do feel as though plans can change.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like, the only thing that you can count on in life is change, as we say.
Yeah, that's our thing, right? Yep.
Yep. The only thing that you could count on in life is change. What if there is a girl that you're like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
shit, maybe I do want to stay here? Like, do
Yep.
you think this was a question that I wanted to ask you, because you were saying if you were with another single mom that had a young child, then you're doing everything all over again and it's something that you aren't really interested in. What if you were with somebody who didn't have children, but she said she wanted to have kids? Do you think that you would have a kid, like another kid?
I think I would. I think it's mostly I just don't want to feel like I just don't mostly feel like I don't want to feel like I have to like be here in this town the rest of my life. So it's honestly not even so much about the kids. It's about the ability to get out, I guess, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, but
I've said I'd be cool with having more kids because oh, what was your question?
no, I was just going to say, then what would be stopping you? Because maybe when your daughters are older, you would have another kid that can just move with you because you're with her mom, you know? You just bring the kid with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I would do that.
yeah, I don't know. I guess that is like such a tough thing because your girls, their mom is there.
Yeah.
So it's not like you
Mm-hmm.
could move away now, you know? So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but to your point, no, I've been thinking about that part too, and I'm glad you said that because, like, I don't want to be so rigid that I could meet the girl of my dreams tomorrow, and she lives here the rest of her life,
yeah,
and be like, nope, sorry, you don't fit into my agenda, so I'm gonna give up. Like, I don't want to be like that either. But I think to your point, I keep repeating what you've already said. So sorry for stealing stealing your wisdom, but like if somebody's your person, I think you're just gonna know, and then
you will.
you'll kind of figure all that other stuff out. So yeah,
You will. I feel like
that's a good point.
the person that
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to be with, it's just going to happen and you'll figure it out. I also feel like
Mm-hmm.
there could be things that you have in your bubble that you're like, these are no question, I cannot change these things. These are things I for sure need. And then there's other things outside of the bubble where
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, I could compromise on this. It's not like ride or die, um
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There are things that you really, really want and need and have to have, and you can compromise on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are
Yeah.
things, that you're like, okay, maybe I could compromise on this. Like maybe I could stay here a little bit longer and then I'll travel, when I'm 50 and I'll travel for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's well, not that is my plan.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to do that, but I also know that
Oh,
when
okay.
I have enough money and Grayson is
Mm-hmm.
easier to travel with, I guess we'll say, maybe when he's like 10
Mm.
plus years
Okay.
old, I'm going to just travel all the time
Yeah.
and take him everywhere. And, controversial opinion, but I don't
Nice.
care how much school he
Okay.
fucking misses. I don't care. He's coming with me.
Nice,
We're traveling
nice.
the world. Mom can educate him on
Yep.
history and whatever. You can make
Hmm.
literally anything into a lesson. You just
Oh,
have to know how
yes,
to do it.
yes.
And
Yep.
so, yeah, that's my plan is Grayson is going to travel with me. That's the
I
plan. I
like
that
that.
was that definitely doesn't relate to the TikTok, but I'm just letting the audience know that that's my plan and we're all going to travel together.
This is good. I like this. So last question that I have from a TikTok video. I'm not going to be, not really one that I'm going to play. It's just a good question that's coming from several different videos based on the recent season of the very popular Netflix show Love is Blind. Have you ever
Okay.
seen Love is Blind before?
I have seen Love is Blind before, but I'm not caught up to the
Okay.
most recent season. But I do know of the show. I have watched maybe I think it was the first season that I watched, honestly, and that was
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody knows I love me my reality dating shows, so I'm all caught up. And this last season, recent season, season 9, there was a guy on the show, single dad. His name was Jordan. He has like a little son. His name was Luca. He ended up being matched with, engaged to this woman named Megan. And to give you context, I guess I'll give you a little context. He's like a 9 to 5. Actually, he works like 10 hours a day. So I guess it'd be like 9 to 6 or something like that. I don't know. He just goes
Mhm.
in, clocks in, works like one of those type of jobs. She is like some sort of like wealthy business owner. Like she's got money. So he's pulling up in his little Honda. She's pulling up in his like her like Range Rover. That's the type of thing they are.
Wow,
But
must be
she's used to
nice.
dating. That's what I'm saying. Like I would have been all for it. But she's used to dating guys with money and who could take her to fancy restaurants and who are wearing suits 24/7. And hasn't found love doing that. So she wanted to give Jordan a try. Long story short, spoilers if you're not caught up on season 9 of Love is Blind, but they give it a try. They ultimately break up because she's kind of the same conversation we just had. He has a kid. She has all this money and has the ability to travel to Italy every other week when she wants, but he can't do that. Number one, because of his job. Number two, mostly because of his kid. So at first in the pods where they're talking, she was like, "No, it's fine. Like I can be a stepmom. I can give up all that because I love you, Jordan." Literally the exact thing we were just talking about. And
She's
then
fake.
they live together, and she's like, "Oh crap, I don't want to give up my trips to Italy and all that." And there was stuff Jordan did do. He wasn't perfect either, but that was literally the exact conversation we just had. So they ended up breaking up. So the last like question the producers ask Jordan as he's getting ready to, walk out the door. He's crying, she's crying as they're breaking up. The last questions the producers ask is, do you have any regrets from this whole experience? And his response was, yeah, like I regret introducing Luca, his son, to Megan. Because they're broken up. So this
Mhm.
5-year-old who was excited to meet this lady, got to meet her, all this stuff. She's gone. So there's this extra, and then we just had the reunion play last night, and he talks more about that and how his point was saying that was just like, the weight of like introducing your kid to somebody and them getting attached to somebody and then that person
Mhm.
not being there. So to tie it all back to TikTok, there's a lot of discussions on there about, well, should single parents be going on shows like Love is Blind for the context of like you meet somebody quick, you're engaged pretty quick, and then you're introducing your kids to this person as like my future wife, your future stepmom, and then most of them break up anyways. And so not only is it weird for the parents, but now you brought your kids into this, and so that's not very responsible. You shouldn't be signing up for shows if that has chances to happen, blah 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 blah. So I guess my question for you is, when it comes to, so I was thinking, I don't think we've ever gotten your opinion on this before. I've talked about this on the show before, but when it comes to bringing people around Grayson, bringing people, introducing them to your son, what's your speed on that? where are you at with timelines and all that stuff? Like, I mean, you can talk about if you would do it quick like they do on Love is Blind, but ultimately all that is leading up to ask you what it looks like for you to bring somebody around your son. Go.
Okay. Well, first thing I'm going to say is if you decide to go on reality TV with a child, um, how do I say this? If you're going on
Oh, I can
reality
tell this is going to be
TV,
good.
okay, hold on. If you have a child and you're going on reality TV, you are probably not going on to find the love of your life. You're not. You're going on for fame.
Oh, interesting.
Same thing with Huda.
Okay.
She
It's a
probably
good
wasn't
point. Yeah.
she probably wasn't on the show to like find love. She's on there to be famous and get the brand deals and make bank. And now she's rolling in fucking dough for her daughter. You're not, I mean, really, truly, do you think you're going to find the love of your life on TV that quick? That just doesn't work for me unless like it's love at first sight. Then maybe it could work.
Yeah.
But like, if you have like 10 guys as an option, like, do you really feel like one of those guys are going to be the love of your life? Because hot take, I feel like a lot of those guys are
Okay.
probably douchebags, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not going to
Yep.
be my future baby daddy if you're a douchebag. So
All right.
my hot take is that if you're going on reality TV as a single parent, you're probably not going on to find the love of your life. You're probably going on for fame. And I very firmly believe that. If I were to go on a reality TV show, I know that I'm not going to find the love of my life on it, okay? I'm going there because I'm going to be a personality and I'm going to get famous,
That's
all
right.
right? So, anyway, that's not my application to be on reality TV because I probably won't get chosen for that reason.
Yeah, now the producers are
I'll
like
give you
ripping up all your
some
applications.
great
Like, never mind.
ratings. But anyway, when it comes to having someone meet Grayson, I don't want anything to be super fast. You're not
Okay.
meeting Grayson after like the first or second date. You're just not. But I also know that I have to see how you interact with him. Is he comfortable with you? Are you comfortable with him? Are you going to like wash his face without me asking? Are you going to play with him? Are you afraid to hold him and touch him or something like that? That's something that I would want to see for those interactions. But yeah, you're not going to be doing it after the first or second date. We need to be dating each other for a little bit. I don't know, couple months. Maybe not even. I
Okay.
don't know. Like I feel like everybody has their own type. I also feel like it's made out to be this thing that is super serious, which it is super serious. But I don't think it's a huge deal because I think for myself, it's not like I'm dating 50 guys. Like, that's just not me. I'm just not dating 50 guys, and it's not like there's a new guy being introduced to Grayson every other week because, oh, he's not Mr. Right. I'm just moving on to the next one. He's not Mr. Right. I'm moving on to
Yeah.
the next one. I'm not going through a conveyor belt of men, and Grayson's not being introduced to a bunch of different guys constantly. I
Yeah.
am focusing on one guy. I'm dating him for a little bit, and when I feel time is right, maybe even I see him 2 times and I'm like, I feel like I wanna have, like, them meet just to kinda see chill interactions. You just come
Okay.
over for a couple hours and we, like, make dinner together, and then we watch a movie. Like, I feel like that isn't that serious
Sure.
for me. I don't know. Just that's just my opinion. It's not that serious, but if you're doing that every other weekend with a new guy, that's a problem.
Right. I agree.
And I also can tell if somebody's not for me very quickly. I can see the red flags for how they treat me. And if they're treating me like shit, they're not going to be around Grayson. If
Yeah.
they're treating me fine and then I decide to introduce Grayson and then all these issues start happening, all right, you're done. You don't get to be around Grayson or I anymore. I'm done dating you. But yeah, if I feel like something is going well and somebody's consistently showing up and they interact well with Grayson and they're treating me right, like I feel like it's fine to have them consistently in Grayson's life, but they also have to know what's at stake, you know? Like they have to be real and serious. We're not doing this for fun. And
Yeah.
I lay down the law like right away with guys, honestly. And it saves me the heartache and them the heartache. It saves Grayson from that and stuff too. So it is serious, but it's also not that serious. Maybe that's like
Okay.
controversial, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it. Cause I know myself and I'm not rotating through guys constantly. I have been around someone who's rotating guys constantly, and that person's
Yeah.
no longer in my life because I
Ooh.
feel sorry for their daughter, honestly, because they're rotating through men super often and now and they're, you know, their kid probably thinks that like daddy's every male that they see that comes over to the house, and that's just not going to be the life that I live. So, and also I feel like Grayson's not even going to
Nice.
call somebody daddy until shit, I'm fucking married.
That's good. That's good perspective. Yeah, I agree with all that. Like for me, a little different because we've talked about this on the show before. Like I have a whole week where I can assess all of that and not feel the need to bring that person around my kids because you could just hang out with me on the times I don't have my kids. It's not really that hard. But I think about that sometimes though, because I've literally never been in a situation yet where I've felt at a point with somebody where I'm even thinking about bringing them around the girls at that age. So it's going to be interesting if and when that happens because they're old enough now to understand like what a girlfriend is and what that looks like, but they're old enough to like be so used to the dynamic that the three of us have right now that I would need to be I would just need to be extra mindful about the fact that this person coming in is going to be very different to how things have been in the past because they've had full access to me for the last 10 years of their life. And now part of my attention would be to somebody else.
Right.
But to ultimately, to just to circle back to what we've been saying this whole episode, I think though, if it's the right person, if she's truly my person, then I'm not saying there aren't going to be hiccups to navigate, but like, it'll be all right. Like the girls will
Yeah.
like her and we'll all hang out and we might have to adjust some things that we've been used to doing, but we would adjust them, I believe, and the girls would enjoy having her around. But
Yeah.
I've never been there before, so I can just only assume.
Yeah. I'm sure like when the time comes, you would figure it out. Also, it's a good opportunity because your girls are older and because they know what all of that means, you could
Mhm.
literally tell them like this is somebody that I really like. I want to know if you like them. Is this somebody that you would want around, you know, for a long
Exactly.
time? Do you like spending time with them? And you just say the word. If you don't like them and it's not going to work out for me, you know, cuz I mean, you know, your girls are a little bit older, so the person is like for you, but it's also kind of for them. You're in like that weird in between stage. Like
Yeah.
for me right now, my person is for myself and for sure for Grayson. Yours is like kind of a
Yeah.
half and half, but if your girls were like 15, then your person is just for you, you know? Ugh, that's what's hard.
Well, thanks for helping me break down those TikTok videos. That was a good
Yay.
discussion.
Yeah, we had
That was a
such
good
good conversation. I'm
chat. We
curious
had
like
such good conversations as usual.
what everybody else thinks. You know? Like, I wonder what the other single parents like, what their
Yeah,
opinions are on some of those things. Could they be controversial?
I want to hear from people on this because I think they could be because I think, like I said, these conversations that we had today, they are so specific and people could have different points of view on them completely. Like maybe for the sleepover thing, there's people out there who's like, who cares? Just let the dad have a
Yeah,
sleepover with their kids. Like it's not
exactly.
that big of a deal. Like
Yeah.
stop being, so paranoid. So I don't know. So
Right.
if you guys have your thoughts, shoot us those DMs. Singleparentspodcast@gmail.com is the email. So just send us your opinions and we would love to hear it. And then also, just put a video out today about this. So by the time you're listening to this, hopefully, we'll have some stuff start coming out. But I want, in the middle of this whole reality that I know many of you are in right now with losing benefits, SNAP benefits, EBT, government assistance like that. I just want us as a podcast to do what we can do to help maybe provide resources and links for maybe places that if you are truly in need, for you to go get some assistance and find some help or just something. Like I want to just to not be naive to the fact that there's many people who fall in our demographic who are hurting this month for lots of different reasons. So I said this in my video I put out on TikTok, but if you know of any resources that we as a podcast could be pointing people towards, stuff we could be sharing, please just let us know. Again, use the email singleparentspodcast@gmail.com. We like to have fun. We like to talk about dating and sex and partying here, but I know there's a lot of single parents who don't worried about that right now because they're just trying to figure out how they're going to feed their kids. That's all they're really worried about. So we got you. So any other thoughts you have, Jess?
No, I don't think so.
All righty. Well, I guess that's going to get ready to do it for this episode of the Single Parents Podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again. Until next time, you know what it is.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, baby.